I have a question. Where on earth is Carmen Sandiego? Huh? Think about that, motherfuckers. That was a game? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Then there was the fucking video games, or not the video game, the fucking video, the cartoon series. Where on earth is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the fuck is this bitch now? Where is she? Who played her, dude? I want to fucking meet that bitch. That'd be fucking awesome. Be like, hey, you played Carmen Sandiego. People may not know who the hell that is. Search on YouTube. Where on earth is Carmen Sandiego? You'll find one of the funniest fucking shows. I remember watching that shit. Captain Planet, that shit was funny too. The fucking 3D Johnny Quest series, man. I remember watching the original Johnny Quest and watching this shit. That shit is fucking hilarious to watch. Some of the storylines on the Johnny Quest show were fucking outrageously crazy. Like when the people were getting turned to stone in the virtual world and they were like fucking dying, and they had those weird suits that would transfer them into the web world. Fucking weird. I honestly think that most of the people who created the series from like the 90s and early 2000s were on cocaine. Like when I was in middle school, fucking I remember playing Oregon Trail. Does anybody know what the fuck that is? I played that shit. I played Oregon Trail. Fucking, I'm gonna look for that freaking game. I'm gonna look for that game and download it and play it. Because I want to play the Oregon Trail. I want to play Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. I want to play that shit. I'm gonna find Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego because I want to watch that show. Just like I'm reminiscing about shit from the 90s. That shit was fucking like 90s and the early 2000s. Like the Johnny Quest show was fucking awesome. Like the 3D Voltron, that shit was crazy too. Like the fucking the all black fucking Voltron or whatever. Like it was just nothing but black. It was fucking weird. And that was like back in the day when Toonami was like every day from like 4 to like 6. I don't like how Toonami's just like Saturday. Like, fuck that. Bring it back to every day, man. You fucking had Tom. You had that fucking, like, you had Moltar fucking hosing that shit, and then Tom took over from him. Like, they had all those good anime series, like Neo Genesis Evangelion, all that goodness on that shit. That shit was fucking awesome. I know I'm saying shit a lot, but damn, dude. It's just so funny going and reminiscing about that stuff. Like, cause that was a fun time in my life. It was a cool time. It's just funny, like, looking back at all the shows I used to like, and still like, just because they're so funny to go back and reminisce about. Like Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? That started at, like, the beginning was just like this kid typing at a computer, playing a game, and then it would go into an animated show. It was weird. Reboot. That's another show. If you don't know what Reboot is, Wikipedia that shit. Google that stuff. Like, Google that show. Wikipedia that show. That stuff is outrageous. It was a fully 3D cartoon during the good old everyday Toonami days. It was awesome. It was just so fun. Like, all those shows were cool, but like now there's all these like stupid shows on now. Like, they don't have any good quality animes really anymore during the day on Cartoon Network and stuff like that. They don't. Like, all the good shows have been moved to like Adult Swim and like all that stuff. And I never got that. Like, why? Why? But I was just like thinking about like where on earth is Carmen Sandiego? Because it's just been playing in my head for a while. I'm like, where? Like, I remember watching that. What was that like? I was just been reminiscing in my brain, like trying to figure out what it looked like. But like that stuff, those games were freaking awesome though. Like Oregon Trail, that crap was awesome. You had to make moral decisions in that game. Like leave people by the freaking side of the road. And that was on like the old computers. That was like fucking like old school computers. That was not the modern computers. That was like old school floppy disk crap. Oh, good old days. Freaking, that's when I lived in the, when I was really young, when I lived in one of the condos over where I used to live. Like, that was like 10 years ago. Like that far away. It was crazy. But like, yo, seriously, if you're a subscriber and you don't know what I'm talking about, go Google that stuff. Google that stuff and find out what I'm talking about so you can put a comment on it. But like, alright, look up The New Adventures of Johnny Quest, which was a crazy show. Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? Good show. The 3D Voltron. Like Wikipedia Toonami. Like Toonami was freaking awesome. Alright, Google reboot. Google reboot. You got to see that because that stuff's crazy. The good thing about that is that actually evolved over time. Like Bill, one of the main people, was like, "I gotta go." Everybody thought he was dead, but he came back. It was crazy. But look at me rambling on about my past. But yeah, so go check out those shows. Go find those shows, dude. You gotta go watch those shows, people. Those shows were good, but they were crazy. They were like corny and stuff, and like they were so good though. And dude, there's another show that I haven't really heard anything about. Um, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century. Check that show out. Check that show out. You'll not be remiss if you'll be very remiss if you don't go look for that show. That show was cool too, having Sherlock Holmes, man. Freaking frozen for like 300 damn years and then gets thawed and then he has a robot. It's crazy. Go check out all the shows I talked about and see how godly and retarded they were all at the same time. Alright. Peace, love, harmony, and knowing's half the battle, and now you know about shows. Go post a comment to this video. Tell me about your favorite shows from the past. Oh. Alright. Peace out.